Hi, I'm Simmy. Welcome to my channel, Class in the Cloud. On this channel, you will find tips and suggestions to help you get started and make a success of your online teaching and online learning journey. And don't forget to hit subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss my next video. My top 10 teaching props. Now this is very exciting. It's more of an interactive video and I can really show you what I like and what I don't like. Now, as mentioned about my background, I'm a bit of a minimalist. I don't like clutter, I don't like looking for things, and I don't like struggling. My favorite prop to use is a virtual camera. Now, I use ManyCam. ManyCam is good for reward systems, digital flashcards, pictures when your hand gestures and TPR aren't really bringing the message across, and also just frames your screen nicely, which also makes it more teaching friendly. So here we are in ManyCam. Now this is by far my favorite prop and my favorite software. I like the star frame. It's not too busy. One of the rewards that are quite popular that my students really like is building an ice cream. So I would then find my cone. Boop. Okay, so I've got two types of cones here. I got this one or this one. Okay, so it really doesn't really matter which one you want to use. Okay, and then I usually ask them what their favorite color is. And you can see I've got so many different options for ice creams over here. You can have a real ice cream or you can have drawn ice cream. I like these ones. So we can probably do a pink. Boop, and then I just resize it like that so it fits on the cone. Let's move the cone a bit like that. There we go. And maybe the next one they want purple. And let's do a yellow one as the last one. There we go. So for each thing the child gets right, you'll give them an ice cream on their cone. And then at the end of the lesson, you can give them a cherry on top. There we go. So that's nice for a reward system. So let's see, for example, if you're teaching phonics and we're doing the letter B. Sometimes they come across a little bit big, just got to adjust them real quick. And then there I have my big B, small b. If I want to have the word bear, I can bring that across there for flashcard for bear. You get the picture. If we go to the beach, I can have a beach. So ManyCam is really a good prop to have in any scenario. Okay, so if we're doing sports, there is my boy playing baseball. It's clean, it's easy, and you just hit the search button, type in what you need, and voila, and you can upload and download pictures onto ManyCam for your personal preferences. Next, we're going to talk about physical flashcards. Now, it is important to know, and something that I learned the hard way, is that you can't do everything digital. If ManyCam decides to corrupt on a day, you need to be prepared with physical props, and it's always nice to have a good balance between the two. So, physical flashcards can have numerous forms. So over here, I have the WizWords Smile Education cards, and these are the ABC cards like that, and these are very nice, A, B, C, D, okay, for teaching phonics, right? So always nice to have your ABC flashcards handy. You can also be creative and put them on a stick. This is really nice for building words or for even when you're blending sounds to put them together in a more creative manner. These are just your plain wooden ice cream sticks. My sister's idea. Very nice. Okay, so those are your ABC flashcards. Now your flashcards can also be pictures. I stole these from my daughter's board game. It's the headbands game. And it's really nice. It has you've got a doll, you've got a soccer ball, you've got a boat, you've got an aeroplane. Just picture flashcards, always nice to have handy. Next thing you can also do is you can maybe make bigger flashcards. This was for a party theme. So you got your party hat, you got your balloons, you got your cake, and you've got your streamers. My brother-in-law is a very good artist. He drew all of them by hand. Very impressive. Okay, so those are some of the flashcards you can use. Now some of my favorites that I use every day. This one here. Star. Now why I like these is sometimes when you're teaching multiple lessons in a row and you gotta do that yawn. You go yawn behind the flashcard, okay? Or you can scratch your nose behind this flashcard. Don't want to scratch your nose around the student. This is nice to say, you're a star. Other ones you might want I use every day is sun. So that can be breakfast, lunch, dinner, morning, afternoon, evening. What's the weather like today? Or you can do nighttime. Good night. So we've done flashcards. Something I like to use are my instructional flashcards. So for example, you want to tell a student, circle, circle, or it's time for you to read. That's right. Okay, so those are quite handy to have. I don't use them every day, but they are nice to have handy. My next favorite type of prop to use, similar to flashcards, but these are my stick figures. Now I have a jar, usually on my desk, where I have a couple of these handy. So somebody suggested once, and it was an absolute life changer, is to use the company characters. Now some of the companies, especially with teaching children English online, they have their own characters. Now this is Zaza and Huhu from Hujang. And those are always nice. It gets the kids super excited if they can be one of the characters in roleplay. And then you can assign a character to them. So you show the character, say, what's your name? My name's Zaza. How old are you? I am 4. Very nice for role play. You can also use animal characters. So I have the giraffe and the elephant, and also very nice for role play or to model sentences. And they're nice. I like the sticks. It makes it easy to handle. They're my all-time favorite. Here's a heart for you. Okay, good job. I love it. And you can really play around. Here's another one. Thumbs up. That was great. I'm having so much fun today. So you can see that using props really makes your lesson interactive. It gets you excited. It gets you engaged with the student, and it helps the student engage with you and helps to build rapport with your student. You don't have to break the bank to go buy props. You can really use everyday items like color pens. Color pens, what color is it? How many pens do I have? Can you write? Very, very simple, easy, and won't cost you a cent. Everybody has pens at home. Next on my list are puppets, dolls, and figurines. Okay, so I have quite a selection over here. So here is my daughter's Barbie doll. Okay, now this one you can actually bend the knee. So it's very easy for knee, ankle, foot, toe. Okay, where are her fingers? Right, for body parts, old Barbie dolls. Big favorite, and the girls love them. You can also have a little teddy bear. I have a little boy who I teach regularly, and every lesson he brings a different toy to class, and then we kind of show off our toys to each other. So I always have my teddy bear handy or something else for when I have a class with him. And then we have a conversation, or our toys have a conversation. Very cute. Okay, figurines for teaching animals. You can have your little elephant, or I have a cow. You get the picture. Really makes your classroom more interactive and more engaging and more creative. Right, so figurines, dolls, and teddy bears, a must in any classroom. Right, especially if you're teaching children. So as you can see, I teach children, so the props you use for adults will be completely different. And you might have a wallet, you might have some sunglasses, you'll definitely have some flashcards when teaching adults. The next thing I want to show you is the magnetic board. Now, this one is really, really nice. As you can see over here, you can actually build an entire forest. So if you're talking about the forest, or I have a story that we read for one of my level 6 or 7 students where they talk about building an owl house in the story. So then you can actually have that there. Or you've got your rabbit, you've got your other little creatures all there, and they're easy and they don't fall off. Another nice thing for a magnetic board is you can actually build your rewards on the magnetic board. You put your ice cream up there, And every time they get something right, you'll be like, oh yes, there's your ice cream, yay! But as you can see, I like to do it on Manicam because magnetic boards tend to fall off sometimes, and it just makes me angry. So, but yes, if you can use a magnetic board properly, go for it. Right, so next on my list, the blackboard. Now beware of the blackboard. Make sure that your camera is flipped in the right way so that your letters don't come across backwards. That can be very embarrassing. So this is nice to show the hand motion for writing. So if I'm doing B and D, now this is one of the reasons why I say make sure your camera is flipped correctly, because B and D are flipped around when your camera is flipped around wrong. So, and just a little tip, so sometimes when the students battle to distinguish in B and D, I use the word bed. Okay, and then you build your little bed there. Bed. B-E-D, bed. Okay, so there we go. So we have that. I don't really like your whiteboard with the cookies. It does rub off nicer, but the cookies dry out and the chalk just lasts so much longer. But that's entirely up to you. Puppets, always nice, especially for your shy students. They tend to want to speak to the puppet if they don't want to speak to you. Your younger students, your 4, 5, 6-year-olds. Hello, my name is Sammy. What's your name? Nice to meet you. Okay, puppets you can buy at maybe a crazy store of sorts, or you can even make your own one. Here we have a beautiful puppet here, made from a sock. Okay, you can see him there. Hello, how are you? I love him. I love the googly eyes. Okay, so, and the children really, really love the puppets. Number 10 of my top 10 favorite props would be realia. Now, realia is just a fancy word for real things. It's also a nice idea to sometimes, even if you're doing fruit, to tell your students, oh, do you have fruit at home? Why don't you go fetch some fruit for me and come show me what you have? Okay, and then you can't maybe have an apple or a banana, and you can share that with the student, bringing real life items into your classroom. What I like is mouse. Sometimes the student doesn't quite understand circle, click. I've got a broken mouse that I use, and that usually brings across the message. Artist, the artist paints. Do you like to paint? One of my favorite lessons that I teach is getting ready for school, and they've got a backpack, and then they put everything in the backpack, and I've usually then got the pencil case, the pencil, the ruler, the scissors, and I put them all in the backpack, and I'm like, oh, what's in the backpack? And then I take them out one by one out of my blue backpack. So, and that always gets them super excited as having to guess what's in the backpack and what comes out next. That was my top 10 teaching props. So I'm glad I could share a little bit of that with you, so that you can engage a little bit into my world. Teaching English online is so much fun, and it is up to you to make it fun for yourself and to make it fun for the student. And the best way to do that is to have your personalized props that you use. Now, you won't use all the props every day. As I said, the ones I probably use every day is the star. And of course, as I said, Manicam. Especially when you have your higher level students, you won't be using so many realia, but you do tend to use flashcards on Manicam for items like the Eiffel Tower or country flags. As I mentioned, Manicam is great for that. Again, as with the background, less is more. The golden rule is every prop should have a purpose. So no props at all is better than a prop without a purpose. Don't just use it because it's there. It should have a purpose to enhance the lesson, engage the student, and facilitate understanding or bridge language gaps. Those are the main purposes of your props. So if it doesn't support the lesson, or if you cannot use it correctly, rather don't use it at all, especially the blackboard. Make sure your camera is flipped. And that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did. If you found it informative, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what your favorite props are and what you use them for. And please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. I'm Simmy, this is Class in the Cloud. See you next time. Goodbye.